Can budgets play a role in ensuring gender equality? Despite the efforts around the world, gender inequalities continue to exist. How can we make these efforts more meaningful and ensure equal opportunities for all? Gender-responsive budgeting is an approach to integrate gender equality objectives into policy, budgetary, and audit processes by asking if revenues and expenditures in a budget reinforce inequalities, reduce them, or promote gender equality. It involves systematic usage of tools and procedures in the budget cycle and uses fiscal policy and administration to promote gender equality. Normative frameworks call for its application at an international and regional level. For instance, it is included in the Public Expenditure and Financial Accountability Methodology for Accessing Public Financial Management Performance, which provides performance benchmarking and identifies the opportunities for countries to make their public finance management more gender responsive. Australia was the first to introduce gender budgeting initiatives back in 1984. Since then, over 100 countries have taken action to implement GRB. What are some of the GRB tools used at the national level? Gender-aware policy appraisal analyzes policies, programs, and resource allocation based on women's and men's different needs, priorities, and rights. If we want to apply this tool in the agricultural sector, we must recognize differences in the situation of women farmers from different categories of households, agriculture subsectors, and agroeconomic zones. We should ask whether women and men are equally involved in the development of the policy. Has the government taken steps to review and amend existing policies to include an explicit acknowledgement of the role of the ministry and its agencies in advancing gender equality and equity in agriculture? Gender-aware public expenditure tracking assesses who gets what and what do sectoral agencies do with the resources they are allocated with in terms of gender equality priorities. For instance, when financial management information systems are linked with integrated planning information systems, it tracks key gender performance indicators included in the policy documents. This allows us to know how many programs contribute to gender equality through policy objectives, budget funds, and expenditures. Costing gender equality means estimating the financial cost of an intervention or producing and delivering goods and services. Through this, governments can quantify required human, infrastructure, and financial resources. For instance, the UK Women's Budget Group for the International Trade Union Confederation report shows that investing 2% of GDP in the UK care sector would generate twice as many jobs as investment in construction. Gender-aware budget statements are reports generated by governments along with budget documents on the impact of expenditure on gender equality objectives. It helps showcase the gender responsiveness of a draft budget. As part of its budget bill, the Government of Andalusia presents its Gender Impact Assessment Report, which provides a general analytical framework for integrating the gender perspective into the annual budget. In addition, it gives information to the management bodies of public resources so they can make informed decisions based on reality from a gender perspective. Public expenditures must be targeted appropriately to benefit both women and men in their diversity, ages, gender, origins, place of residence, among others. Sustainable Development Goal 5, Achieve Gender Equality and Empower All Women and Girls, includes the indicator 5C1, Proportion of countries with systems to track and make public allocations for gender equality and women's empowerment. The Development Agenda for 2030 calls governments to increase transparency on public spending and measure and increase their efforts on tracking systems for gender equality resource allocations. It is clear that in order to achieve de facto gender equality, we must put gender as a core element in budgetary policies and decisions. Budget for equality, budget for women and men.